You may inflict significant pain or result in serious injury. If you remain in the area just described, you'll be in violation of city and state law.
Black power!
Unconstitutional! Leave southbound on Black power! You have 3 minutes. Shoot it first.
Fuck you killed my family! You killed my fucking family! You killed his family. You kill us. Try it, bitch!
Just so you guys know, this area is not Cal Anderson Park. Therefore, we have a constitutional right to occupy this space. Just so you know, this is not Cal Anderson. We will stay here. Good luck. Have fun losing all your jobs.
3 minutes. 3 minutes. You know what's going on here? You know what's going on? No. Back up. You back up. You guys. You back up. You guys are literally breaking the Constitution.
We have the right to bear arms! We have the right to bear arms!
Hey. Boys, just keep your eyes out. Yup. It's getting funky out here.
In 3 minutes, no matter what.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Hey Siri, set an alarm for 3 minutes.
Brother, can I speak to you?
No, we don't have
We got on some shit right now, man. We just got a document right now. There's a whole bunch of reinforcements in the back that you can start to see. And this road is now about halfway filled up with vehicles, police vehicles.
They have no choice. They have orders.
You can see them on the bikes in the back.
An emergency order at 2 a.m.
That's what they said.
There's a 2 a.m. There's an order. Now we also have pretty good information that the state police are out here as well, and that there was a call in on state police we got from Washington State Patrol. So we see the Seattle police right here. We also see what's out here on the street right now is the tear gas launcher is right there. That's the tear gas launcher. This is equipment that we haven't seen here in a while. To be honest with you, it looks like a commander coming up here up front. We're gonna move over here to the side. We're gonna move over here. We definitely don't want to be in a direct line of sight. Here at the Seattle police. What the police are saying is they're giving instruction for people to move southbound. Yes. A helmet. Fuck, man, I don't ever have enough gear.
On my back?
No, I don't want your back. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
I'm a lover, not a fighter too, and I
So,
fucking know it.
what we're saying here is it looks like the Seattle Police Department is going to move. There goes the rubber bullets. Right there. There go the rubber bullets right there. We've got hold on, be quiet. I want to hear the second thing. Shh. Be quiet. Shh.
Roadways, remove obstructions for roadways and public rights of way, and to accomplish full closure and restoration cleaning of Cal Anderson Park. All persons who are unlawfully occupying Cal Anderson Park area who are in the public rights of way or in the park shall be directed to leave the closed area immediately. The Seattle Police Department shall enforce this closure and provide reciprocal orders.
Did he say what the order was at 2 a.m.? I know he said 12 p.m. yesterday was Cal Anderson. He said there was another order at 2 a.m. this morning. The mayor issued an order at 2 a.m. So, no. So, man, let these guys work their job.
Is your body game on, sir?
This isn't an expression. It depends if they consider this an expression of civil rights or whatever it is. So basically what the officers are saying is that Mayor Durkin issued an order at 2 a.m. to be able to clear, I don't know, at 2 a.m. Alia. There we go. She's right there. Where's the rest of our team at? Bro, you can't have it both ways.
Those areas in order to limit any obstructions to access.
Don't get us fucked up. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Leave
This is what I'm telling you. Don't get us fucked up.
or northbound out of Cal Anderson
give us
Park
space
immediately
to
disperse, which means leave this area. If you do not do so, you will be arrested or subject to other police action.
Don't get us fucked up. I know. Okay. And we have, and so the order came at 2 a.m. It was a 2 a.m. order. Is when they're saying that the mayor gave an order at 2 a.m. We see SPD is giving instruction. SPD is giving instruction for people to move southbound on Pike. Let me just here, take this one. Your bag coming, red bag coming. You're going to get the gas mask? Yeah, it's already. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You got everything surrounded.
Huh?
You're all surrounded.
Yeah, of course everybody's surrounded. Here we go. Now this is, we see the bike officers are now moving off the bicycles. They're now moving off the bicycles. And now here it goes, move back. We know, let's go backwards position. They're in the move back position. They're in the move back. We've seen this before. We're in the move back now. Okay.
So like you're not gonna be able to. It's in there. It's in there.
The police are in a posture now to move back. They're through the northern barricade. They've assembled their line now on the northern barricade. The SWAT vehicle behind them. The bicycle officers are going back. Now what we're gonna see probably happen right here is the bicycle officers are gonna come and the bicycle officers are gonna form their own barricade with the bikes. We're gonna see the bicycle officers form their own barricades with the bike. They're gonna use a posture. They're gonna use a posture called move back with the bikes. Now, what I'm anticipating, we'll see here. But this is funky. This area is surrounded. It's surrounded by all sides. I don't know that we might be one of the only live cameras that are in here right now inside of the CHOP. So we've got SPD right there, and now they're tearing through the barricade. They're tearing through the barricade right there. Police are right here. Okay. They've got a SWAT vehicle right there. And we're gonna stick to the wall right here. We're gonna kind of stick to the wall. The pepper spray is getting ready to come. Officers. They're pushing them to Pike. Now they're saying that Mayor Durkin put an emergency order in at 2 a.m. Now here's the thing is we got information. We got information yesterday, but we couldn't confirm it. We got information from dispatch.
They're not allowing us to exit this way.
Okay.
We have to exit through 12.
All right, and we'll exit through 12. Let's get over here on the wall. We're just over here on the wall. Yep. Right here. There we go. He got hit with a rubber bullet. He's been hit with a rubber bullet right there. Press. There we go. We've got it. Now the police are gonna form a police line right here. The bikes, they're forming their line and they're doing a technique called move back. We're gonna calm down. It's a technique called here. It's called move back. It's called move back. They're getting ready to push it back. And we've seen this before. They're gonna use the bicycles now. Yep, I'm moving, sir. They're gonna use the bicycles. The bicycles are gonna push forward. The posture is called to move back. We see the rubber bullets are out here. We see we see it's some kind of explosive out here. I'm gonna tell you, everybody, it's hot and heavy. You know what I'm saying? We're now actually surrounded. So if we wanted to leave right now, we really can't. We can push back into 12th Avenue. We're gonna follow the police instruction here. It looks like we're gonna get swept out. There is something in the air. It's not strong, but there's something. Do you smell it?
Yeah, I can smell it already.
There's something that's in the air here. They're giving instruction for people to move the area. Our understanding, if anybody is talking to City Hall, City Hall at 2 a.m. this morning. The police are saying at 2 o'clock this morning that Mayor Durkins signed an order at 2 a.m. for the emergency removal of this space here. Hey, bro, get away from him. Get away from this guy.
We're going.
Get away. It's all right. It's all right. People know we don't have any ill intent. We're here as the media. We've been here for 30 days. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, Bobby. Just calm down. Stop talking. Stop. Bobby, it's all right. We're here. But people, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, well, I'm sure that the Seattle police want this documented as well. Now, our understanding. Now the mace. We see the mace coming out. We see the mace coming out. Now, a posture here. This is the step back posture. This is the step back posture. Now they're pushing everybody out right here. Again, I don't know as far as the mayor. The officers are telling us that at 2 o'clock this morning that the mayor signed an order. The police are now coming through. The police are now moving through. The police are now moving through. This is now, I'm looking westbound. We talked about signs of change yesterday. We saw lots of signs of change. We got information last night, a lot of chatter, what we call chatter over here, but it was very credible, but we couldn't confirm it. So without being able to confirm it, of course, we didn't say anything because we don't put out anything we can't confirm. But it was a lot of chatter here. It was, yeah, man, that's okay. I talked to him last time when he was here. I forget. I don't know, but he's a senior officer here. What do you, man? Stop talking to these people, man. What's wrong with you? It's like. So what we're doing is they're now pushing through. They said under an order signed by the mayor at 2 o'clock this morning is our understanding, and so now this perimeter is now closing. The perimeter is now closing out here. I would say move it out. That's what I'm saying.
Put it past them to just gas this whole area, and you're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say let's move. Let's move. So what we're doing right now is we're gonna. The police are giving further instruction now to move back. Now, here we go. This is the pushback. We're going to see the bikes come. Hey, man, this guy's, stay away from him. No, don't follow me. Shit. Man, stay away from him. Here it goes. Remember, I told you here's move back. Here's move back. Remember, I told you that move back was coming. The Seattle, the bike patrol is very experienced with this. This is move back. They're pushing out. Now they're halting. This is their experience. Hey, what we don't want to do is be close to anybody antagonizing the police. So we're gonna stand over here. We don't want to be in front of anybody that's coming with antagonizing officers. And now the Seattle Police Department has already advanced at least 100 some odd feet. Okay, thank you, Jake. The police now have cleared. They've cleared Pine. They've cleared 11th up to 12th on Pine Street. They've also cleared Pine. Now what you're gonna see here again is the bicycle officers are gonna come again with the move back posture. These guys are very good here as far as using the bikes for crowd control and as far as a barrier. So they're gonna give them a few minutes here. They're gonna probably move another 15 feet. What we do out here, what we have seen is we did see one person with a rubber bullet. Here we go again. Here's the move back posture. Here's the move back posture we were telling you. There's and halt again. And if they have to do it 5 feet at a time, I'm sure they will. I don't think anybody wants to use force out here. And we very well might see the Seattle Police Department move everybody back 5 feet at a time over the pike. I'll be safe, Dad. I got you. Don't worry. My dad's up on the East Coast of North Carolina watching the feed. Where's your drone? Where's your drone footage? Where's the drone?
You want me to fly it? I'll go fly it.
I mean, oh man. You don't want to fly?
Yeah, he's gonna fly.
Okay, we're gonna. We're going to go back again. The police are moving back to Pike. Like I said, very well could be 5 feet at a time. And you're seeing a line here on both sides of the cement barriers, the ballast blocks. That is the East Precinct right there. This over there to the left. That's the East Precinct right there. You see the officers are now tearing. They're now tearing down again. Yep. Who? I don't know him, but I'll definitely give him a kind word. Like we can do that. Hey, listen. This is. They're pushing it back, man. They're pushing it back. They're pushing it back, man. They're pushing it back. They're pushing it back. I mean, this is happening. Here we go. They're moving again. They're moving again. Move back. Here's the move back posture. Here's the move back posture. They're moving back again. This is move back. And again, I think 5 feet at a time here, if need be. What we see is the Seattle police. They're over there, and I mean, literally reclaiming the precinct over here is what we're seeing. They're tearing down the tents. They're actually clearing along the way and trying to be able to clear different things. Now, it looks like they're going to go about 5 feet at a time. Bro, stop talking to these people. Just stop. Stop. So, again, we're our understanding. I don't know what's going on, if anybody can confirm, but what the officers are saying is at 2 o'clock this morning that Mayor Jenny Durkin issued an emergency order. Emergency order issued at 2 a.m. to clear this. Now, we were aware that the park closed yesterday at 12 p.m. The officers on the scene are saying that at 2 a.m. that the mayor of the city of Seattle, Pat, here we go. Like I said, the police are very experienced. This Bobby's pulled out the gas mask. And so we've got right here. This is, thank you, but we've got the gas mask out here. Okay, hold the camera.
Fucking pigs!
All right. Again, they're saying that they're saying that under emergency order, the Seattle police are now here. We have an understanding that the state police might very well be out here as well. Like I said, we got information. Here we go. Okay, going another 5 feet. And very well, like I said, the bike officers here, we've seen this for years in Seattle, where the bike officers are proficient here in being able to create a barricade with the bicycles. And this is what we're seeing right here. We also see that the gentleman in the gray suits here.
You guys are fighting to say that our Constitution is illegal right now. Fuck your fucking job after this.
Well, so what we're seeing right here again, that the Seattle Police Department, we're most likely going to see them 5 feet at a time come through here. Now they're making space for looks like the SWAT vehicle. Now, one thing we do know about this SWAT vehicle is that this vehicle right here is that there's usually a gunner up top with the rubber bullets. There's usually a gunner up top with rubber bullets. We've got. This is, I would say, of Seattle Police Department property here. They've reclaimed between 11th and 12th on Pine, and it looks like they've reclaimed about 30% of their building right here that's actually on 12th Avenue. Now, SPD has come through here. They're moving it through about 5 feet at a time. Like I said, we've seen this posture before with SPD. So far, we haven't seen any force. It looked like one rubber bullet was fired earlier. And here we go again. It's another 5 feet. We're getting ready to move it back. Another 5 feet. They're moving people here 5 feet at a time. They're clearing through. And at the same time over there, we see them tearing down the tents and other things that are in there. All right. So we see this. Now we're gonna move over here to the side. What we don't want to do is be in the middle of any action. So the SPD has about 100 feet until they have their actual precinct surrounded. They came up on Pine in the eastbound direction between 11th and 12th. And here comes Seattle Police is pushing through. They're pushing through another 5 feet. Oh shit. Here we go. So we got something being thrown. We got something being thrown over there. Okay. Porta potties being tipped over. All right. So now we got the porta potties being tipped over. Damn. So they've turned over a porta potty here.
My own friend is fucking on the front line and is like, Robbie, dude, like, I can't, you have to fucking go. We're gonna fuck you up, man. That's the saddest.
All right, so they're moving forward another 5 feet. Another 5. I know you guys are ready to move past that one. There's a porta potty that's out here now that's been turned over. Okay, thank you. Thank you. On the western side over here of the cement blocks, we see SPD. Can we see SPD continue to disassemble things that were over there in the tinted area? So again, the bicycle officers, we've seen this before. They're moving around this obstruction, the porta potty, and they're going through. And I'll be honest with you. If they stop right here, the Seattle Police Department has about 10 feet left. The SPD has about 10 feet. The SPD has about 10 feet right here, and they'll be back here. This is the last 10 feet, and the Seattle Police Department would have come up eastbound from 11th to 12th and secured the northern part of their building. Right now, they're trying to secure the eastern part of their building. And they've got about 10 feet left here, and the Seattle Police Department would have come through. Now, what they said is their goal is to push everybody back to Pike Street. Pike Street would actually give the police would actually give the police a barrier into Pike Street. Now we see this over here, man. No, we're staying away. We continue to want to stay away.
That was your fucking family that died, and we made a vigil for them. Goodness gracious, PD don't care about nobody.
So what we're finding right here, back up, man. Bro, back up. Let it go. Let it go. That's your back? Okay. Bro, we worried about you. You back up. We worried about you, family. Let's do it. Okay. Seattle Police Department have about 10 feet left here. This is the last 10 feet. I wouldn't be surprised in their next push forward if they don't push at least into the border of their precinct, which is right there. Like I said, it's about 10 feet left to their precinct. They've already secured the northern side of the building. They're over here on the eastern side of the building right now. And so they're pushing backwards. And what they've told protesters is to move back to Pike. Our expectation is that the Seattle Police Department will continue this push here into Pike Street, which very well sounds like what their goal is today, this morning. I don't know where Eric is. Somebody sent me a message. I'm not. Alia, here we go. This might be the last 10 feet. This might be the last 10 feet. Right here, Seattle Police Department has now reclaimed their precinct. They've now reclaimed their precinct. The SPD has now reclaimed the barrier outside They've now reclaimed the area outside of their precinct. The SPD has now cleared the block. We expect this push now to go all the way to Pike Street. We expect this push to go all the way into Pike Street. The Seattle Police Department has reclaimed. Hey, wake up, Nikki. Tell the Seattle Police Department. Okay. 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 Put it down. Put it down. Let's go. Let's go. Yep. Oh, there goes the mace. Okay, we don't want mace. Stop. I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right. Okay, this is now Pike Street. This is now Pike Street. I need you to hold this camera right here. I need you to hold this camera right here. No, I'm the police. Here we go. Here we go.
He was peaceful!
So what I'm reporting right now is that what I'm seeing is that the Seattle Police Department has now secured the Seattle Police Department.
I feel my mom. My mom
Just man, grab some water or something. Man. Grab some water or something. It's all right. It's all right. So what we're seeing right here is that the Seattle Police Department.
Yeah, fuck you, pig! You fucking class man! I didn't a murder! I told her, what are you gonna say? Fuck you! What do you got to say? Fucking pig! I'm from New York. What do you got to say?
All right, so what we're reporting right here is what we see is that the Seattle Police Department, the Seattle, we have an order for arrest right here. We have an order for under arrest right here. This guy River. They're saying that now the River, one of the protesters under arrest. Ladies and gentlemen, the big story is right here though. In less than 35 minutes, the Seattle Police Department came. They approached their precinct from the north. They approached their precinct from the west in under 45 minutes, and it looks like one spray, a pepper spray, and one rubber bullet. They've now secured their precinct. They've secured the block. They've secured the block over here and got their precinct it's under their control. They pushed everyone out. The Seattle Police Department has now, like I said, in less than 30 minutes, the Seattle Police have come through here and they've basically reclaimed they've reclaimed the street over here. They pushed everybody to Pike Street. We're here on Pike. We're here on Pike right here. This is the barrier.
Why did these motherfuckers?
Huh?
Why did these motherfuckers push me?
What we seen, you gotta calm down though. You know what I'm saying? I understand.
No, you don't. My daughter's right next to me.
You know how I do understand? I've been tear gassed by, I've been flashbanged, I've been shot with 3 rubber bullets and everything else. So I do understand. I do understand. The Seattle Police Department has pushed back over here. They control the perimeter around their precinct. From what we've seen on this video right here, what we did see is maybe two arrests, at least 2, or at least detainment. At least 2 people detained is what we saw. And then what we also saw over here, we saw a discharge of 1 rubber bullet, and then we saw a pepper spray, and like I said, in less than 30 minutes here, the Seattle Police Department has come through. I said they came west from 11th to 12th and secured that side, and they came from the north down 12th Avenue and pushed across Pine, and basically literally 5 feet at a time pushed everybody out of the protest zone and out of the barricades. So at the moment here, what I'm saying is they pushed everybody out here into the intersection. They said they wanted everybody to Pike Street. The police have a perimeter here at Pike. I'm very much assuming that they most likely have a perimeter at least down on 11th Avenue and Pine as well. So those are right there. We see police issues. Now, what we heard early today, very early this morning, is that there was an operation underway and that several other law enforcement agencies were deploying to Seattle in a reinforcement capacity. As you can imagine, the number of officers required for this operation, there's quite a few that are here. Then you have support, you have perimeter. And so what we were hearing on the chatter early this morning was that other law enforcement was around here in a backup capacity, depending on how this particular operation went. Now, the thing is the police have secured the precinct. I don't know if it's going to go back to business as normal here. Police very well might now put another barricade right here to seal off Pike Street. But what we can say for sure is what we witnessed here is that in less than 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more, the Seattle Police Department came from the west and they came from the north, and they have secured now the perimeter of the East Precinct. What we saw as far as any kind of use of force, not so much here. What happened is that the bicycles got out in front. We've seen this before with Seattle Police Department and the use of the bicycles here. They hop on the bikes and then they move people out. Looks like we saw a discharge of one rubber bullet. We saw one spray of mace. Otherwise, the SPD, I mean, just kind of with manpower, to be honest with you, came through here and they have pushed the protesters out of the area. We did see some of the special weapons, but not used here. It's like it's either the flashbang or some kind of smoke. There was something in the air earlier. It was a small irritant. It wasn't tear gas, and whatever they put in the air, they didn't put on their gas mask either. I still got on my our gas mask equipment right now, and we're inside of a perimeter here. As you can see, the Seattle Police Department have this whole area for several blocks. Inside this perimeter is totally blocked off. You see what I'm saying? It's totally. Do you know what? No, I don't. Shyla was over there. She was over there. If that's who you're looking for, that's who I saw. So again, if you're just joining us right here, it was about 35 minutes ago, the Seattle Police Department started their operation, maybe 35, 45 minutes ago. They had 10 minutes. They gave everybody an order to disperse. They said that Mayor Jenny Durkins signed an order this morning at 2 a.m., giving them whatever permission or the order to now move in here to the East Precinct. The police in mass approached from the west on Pine, and they approached from the north on 12th. They converged at the intersection of 12th and Pine, and then now pushed everybody southbound on the Pike Street. So now what's happening is you have this group here, the bicycles. We saw this a lot during the protest. The bicycles now have their barricade right here. You have another detachment who I guess you would say is watching the backside. So you have another detachment of officers, and we see more leaving right now. Another detachment that are heading back over to Pine. So we're in between Pike and Pine here. And like I said, it was a very, very swift operation this morning by the Seattle Police Department. Obstructions that were in the way, they tore their obstructions down. We didn't see any. We did see a discharge of looked like a rubber bullet. We saw a pepper spray, but we haven't seen any force over here. The day is early though. The police now have their area back, and they're now visible, and the visibility now I turn into something else, and unless they're planning on keeping the bicycles here all day, it very well might be that the Seattle Police Department comes in and now they put their barricade right here, and we'll see what happens over here. So, like I said early this morning, we got a lot of chatter from different law enforcement, everything. We couldn't confirm anything, but that chatter made us want to definitely be here and be awake and see what was happening out here, because we get these calls all the time. This is happening, that's happening, this is happening, that's happening. But Airbender. Too tall. Now we're gonna see how it plays out right here on Pike Street. Whew, once again, it's too early for all of this. There he is right there.
You deserve to get raped. People deserve to come down. You deserve to get raped. 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 No, she doesn't. You do. You do.
All right, so
yes,
back over here.
Yes, you do.
And what's turned into an early morning very well might be a long day here for the Seattle police, as now they have a barrier and a barricade, and this is something now that they're going to have to maintain. Definitely until these tensions that are right here on Pike Street, East Pike Street, are alleviated. But what we can see, yes, so the entire chop section is no more. The chop had already, a lot of the people have been reduced to a footprint just in front of the East Precinct. So when people think of chop, it hadn't been that big 6-block area in a long time. It was people that were sitting here in front of the East Precinct. And yeah, in that case, the Seattle Police Department has come through. They came from the west and from the north, converged over on 12th and Pike, and they have swept the protesters out onto Pike Street. The Seattle Police Department, at least the perimeter of it, I'm sure maybe somebody's entered it, but the Seattle Police Department have regained control of their precinct. And we saw an operation that lasted less than 30 minutes and basically was used with the bicycle officers here on the front line. Like I said, we've seen this a lot here in Seattle as far as the bicycle officers being on the front line for crowd control. And that's what we see during the protest season and everything else is the bicycle officers. So you had the bicycle officers to the right that were in the street, and you had other officers with batons in the left that actually went through the chop. And so now what we're going to see here throughout the day most likely is, as the police have pushed people to Pike, and that was the order that they have given, protesters now are here on Pike Street, and the expectation is more people are going to be coming here. So a question's going to remain, is the bicycle officers going to stay here in this posture? Are they going to put a metal barricade here? Clearly this street is closed to traffic. Their main objective, I think, number one, was clearly the precinct. Number two is going to be crowd control or protester control over here. And we'll see we will have to see exactly how that plays out. What we don't know is if the area is open to foot traffic or not. Why does that matter? It's a lot of people waking up right now. And, one of the things that these guys might be looking at or for is to see, if the population of protesters actually grows out here, right? And so this is what we're seeing right here. Again, if you're just joining us, it took the Seattle police, I'd say, less than 30 minutes to pull off this operation. They said that Mayor Jenny Durkins signed the order at 2 o'clock this morning, giving them the authority, if they required it, to be able to come in here and sweep out. As far as any force use, what we saw looked like the discharge of one rubber bullet, and we saw a spray of mace, but we didn't see any force in regards to what we've seen before. They came back about 5 feet at a time. You know what I'm saying? Is how the police cleared 12th, how they cleared that area of the chop is about 5 feet at a time with the move back technique that we've seen many times before by the bicycle officers. So right now, if there is at least a 2 or 3 block perimeter that's been set up by the Seattle Police Department. Streets are closed. This is Pike looking westbound into downtown. 1, 2, 3. Looks like it's closed to Broadway right there. This is eastbound looking up Pike Street, and this is where Pike kind of intersects with Madison over by the Bank of America, by the Chop Suey. And so you have that street closed right there. When we look southbound, that's Madison Street, East Madison. You have a perimeter right there. Now, what we don't know if that perimeter is set for just cars or if that perimeter is also set to stop people, right? And so the bikes are moving out. The bikes are now moving, and so the physical barrier that SPD once had right there, huh?
Thanks for your work.
Yeah, man, it's all good. I mean, we said we're gonna be here. We're here. So now what's happened is SPD. You know, Seattle's a pedestrian city like that. I'm sure these guys don't want to get a complaint for blocking the sidewalk. So they've they've now backed up just to the sidewalk here. Again, the posture. The bicycles right now are the barricade. You know, more people are waking up over here, and I mean, we don't know exactly how that's going to play out or anything else. But we see an officer back there collecting what looks to be maybe somebody's personal items. Might have been an arrest made over there. They're putting the personal items into a paper bag. This is it. I don't know anybody, especially my colleagues over there in the news media, the broadcast channels. If you got my number, maybe you could text me. What the officers are saying is that at 2 a.m. this morning, the Seattle Mayor Durkins signed an emergency order, and basically, I mean, it was right. Man, thank you. So this is the protester River. We actually interviewed him on the what you call the other day, the podcast the other day.
Good.
Man, thank you, bro. Where's Eric, man?
They won't let him out the house. Still here live, man. They try to kick us out 5 in the morning. Fuck the police. Coming straight from the underground. Your nigga got it back because I'm brown, nigga. Shit.
Clearly wide awoke. So, the Seattle Police Department, again, I see the numbers are jumping up over here. You'll see here in the stream, we saw the whole operation back from when they gave an order to disperse. They said that it was basically an illegal assembly. They said that yesterday Cal Anderson Park was closed at 12 p.m. The response from a lot of protesters was this isn't Cal Anderson Park, and they wanted to continue to express their right to protest as they saw it. Then right after that, the officer followed up and said that there was an emergency order that was signed at 2 o'clock this morning by Mayor Durkins. They gave probably another 3 or 4 minutes with an order to disperse. And at that point, the Seattle Police Department coming from the north on 12th Avenue and coming from the west on 11th Avenue, they began to basically converge over here and push the protesters out of the barricade that's in front of the East Precinct. That's and what we see right here is we see a very big perimeter. My understanding as well is there's a good amount of law enforcement in town from different agencies. So there's some different agencies that have been activated. As you gotta know, you never know how one of these things might go. You know, it's kind of a different situation for me as well. I recognize a lot of the officers here right from the Western Barricade days. So once again, I'm on the other side of the barricade yeah, this was something right here. Operation, like I said, didn't take too long for SPD. And, you know, it was very paced out. It was very paced out here, and the SPD literally reclaimed the block about 5 feet at a time. We've seen that method plenty of times here by the bicycle officers, Seattle Police Department, where they go move back, and 5 feet at a time, no more than 10 feet, they push the crowd back here to Pike Street. And this is kind of where we stand right here. There's a group of protesters, there's a growing group of media. Sorry, I scooped you guys, but there's a growing group of media that's out here as well. And a very wide perimeter. You'll see, again, this is looking westbound into downtown Seattle. That is Broadway, that might be 10th, but for sure, you see the street is blocked right there. When we look to the southbound, that's Pacific Medical Hospital way back there, but that's East Madison Street, and we see that there is now a perimeter right there. When we look over here to the east.
Police have confirmed body cameras on right now, by the way.
I'm sorry?
Police have confirmed body cameras on right now?
Well, they talked to him earlier. Bobby said, when he talked to him earlier, they said that the body cameras are on. That's what they've said. I mean, the law is now, they changed it June 9th. Body cameras have to be on when there's an expression of free speech and there might be an order for any kind of engagement. So, I mean, there was a question that was posed to me about body cameras when we talked to the officers when this action first started. Before they started moving through the streets, they said that they have their body cameras on and activated. And that's actually the law right now. And as soon as they declared it an illegal assembly, then it very well, and you know the legalities of it. Is it still free speech? Is it still whatever? But no matter what, this action here today, body cameras, the police are saying that the cameras are on. But I'll be honest with you, the police didn't meet much resistance this morning. They didn't meet much resistance. You know, I know if we heard chatter this morning, maybe a lot of other people very well might have heard chatter. But the flip side of it is as well is that a lot of people who've identified themselves as protest leaders are still here in this population here on Pike. So you never know who heard what or did what. You don't ever know if some people just ran out of here. But the actual resistance that the Seattle Police Department met earlier this morning, I would have to say that it's minimal, minimal at best. You know, what we were hearing, the messages that we were getting all throughout the morning, really last night, all throughout the morning was assembly on it and everything else. Then on the police scanner, you could hear on the scanner, they said traffic, keep the convoy in one line. And to be honest with you, if you're listening to a police scanner at 4:30 in the morning and they're talking about keeping a convoy in the same line, who else is out at 4:30 in the morning? So when we heard that in the scanner, we kind of knew that there might definitely be some action here underway. So we all put on our protective equipment and it kind of went outside. As soon as we went outside, then we saw that the SWAT vehicle back there, and we saw that the Seattle Police Department had formed their first line in front of the 12th Avenue Arts building right out on Pine Street, right in between the liquor store and 12th Avenue Arts. We also saw some officers climb onto the roof of the liquor store as well. So with some equipment, we don't know what the equipment was. It was in some bags. They climbed onto the roof of the liquor store, and they popped up there. Again, special weapons are out. We didn't see them today yet. Let's hope that we don't. The only force that we saw this morning that I personally saw would look like a discharge of a rubber bullet. And at one point there, it was a small scrum, I suppose you could use the word, where an officer discharged some pepper spray. Otherwise, though, we haven't seen, it was a very minimal use of force over here. And to be honest with you, like I said, the people that were here in the barricade offered very little resistance to the Seattle Police Department. They didn't come with the shields either. I mean, it literally came out with the batons and the bikes. So I can tell you this, it's most likely going to be a very long day for everybody right here on Pike. A lot of people might wonder why we didn't do a walkthrough last night like we usually do. I had a feeling that it was going to be a very long day today, and that's exactly what happened, is that the SPD is out here. But I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, setting the situation now for another barricade to come right across here on Pike Street. Let's see what happens, how the day rolls out. But you know what I'm saying, of course, the Seattle Police Department, they want to maintain a barrier around. They want to maintain a barrier around their precinct. So again, we might see. This is a barricade right here, but bicycles. We've seen in the Western Barricade days, we've seen these guys swap out every 30 minutes for hours and hours on end. That very well might be the plan of the Seattle Police Department today. So now we've got more protesters who are reconstituting over here. They're chanting, say his name, George Floyd. Say his name, George Floyd. Breonna Taylor. Okay. I'm all right. Just another day on the job, man. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So now the next thing is going to be.
Without that badge, you're a bitch and a half. Without that badge, you're a bitch and a half. No, bro. I mean, I'm starting to. Oh, it's not get away from this, Dick. I'm starting to leave off cops and message.
And so what we're going to see here today, and you know, who knows? Only time to tell. Okay, now let's zoom in down there on 11th Avenue. We see that the police have a perimeter across the sidewalk down at 11th Avenue as well. So, I mean, very much the SPD is literally taking back the block. In between Pike and Pine and 11th and 12th, the Seattle Police Department have a perimeter around the whole block right now with just officers. And then there's a greater perimeter, as we pointed out earlier, with the actual police cars that are out here encircling. And it looks like 3 or 4 blocks here on both sides. For people that might just be joining over here, what happened was maybe about an hour ago, whatever time that first tweet was, is when the police started to first give an order to disperse, and actually the order that they gave was to go directly to Pike Street, but they said move south. And when we asked, well, how far south, the indication they gave was Pike Street, and basically that's where we're at right here. This area is 100% locked down right now. You know what I'm saying? The perimeter is out here. The Seattle Police Department came and basically reclaimed the perimeter around the precinct in less than 30 minutes, literally 5 feet at a time. And at the same time clearing out tents and other obstructions that are there. That's kind of what we see, you know. Let me call my mom.
Nothing. Not a fucking light to stand on. Fucking nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, Keo, I gotta call my mom. You know, she's always worried about me. Let me call her right now. I told my mom last night, though. I said, she said she was gonna get on her prayer network. I said, Mom, something's getting ready to happen. I said, it's too quiet. There's all these signs that change. The lights are off. The Hyatt Regency took the BLM off the hotel and put a heart. All these other things was there. I was like, man, I mean, you could feel it last night, and all the chat, man, the chatter hadn't been this high in a long time. The chatter hadn't been this high in a very long time about the police and police operations. And that's why I said, and so on the radio, on dispatch at like 4:30 this morning, Hey, what's up, Mom? The police retook the precinct. I'm safe. Just want to let you know.
I'm safe too.
Yeah, Bobby's here. Well, they retook the precinct in about 30 minutes. We didn't. We're the only people here as far as media, they might have made a few arrests. I know they've detained a few people. It looked like the discharge of one rubber bullet, and they sprayed some mace at one point and impacted an arrest. But they met little resistance over here at the shop. And right now, the Seattle Police Department, they have the Pike to Pine and 11th and 12th. They have their officers, and there's a much larger perimeter that they have out here as well. So I didn't want you to wake up this morning and people texting you and saying like, oh man, the police have got over here. I didn't want you to be worried about me. So I mean, right at the moment, the situation is calm, Mom. I know you said last night you was going to bed praying and you had your prayer network and everything else. It's been, so. Thank you. Yeah, I was just telling my mama I'm okay, so I'll be there in a second. All right, Mom, I just wanted you to know what was up. I'll talk to you soon, but we're all safe over here. Okay. Can you keep the camera going? I'm gonna just go and talk to these guys here for a minute.
Confirmation of.
That's what drives me crazy.
So usually, man, we always have them prepared. We have like microphones and all this shit ready to go. And he's just playing on his fucking cam. We gotta look for the drone, man. It should be up here in any minute. Worried about the wind and the rain.
You guys!
I'm just saying, the day I leave, they leave. The day I come back, they come back.
6.6 thousand people watching. And that's not even counting restreams. It's just our streams. So restreams, we got maybe another 1,000,000.
We can't afford it. Don't even know how much we can bring here.
He arrested like 2 separate people verbally. You runner.
He was like,
That comes from some other part of the world.
Coming from the north on Pine and coming from the west, the north on 12th and from the west on Pine, they gave an order to disperse. They a few minutes there, they mentioned that Cal Anderson Park was closed, so I don't even know what action might be down there. And they said that Mayor Durkins signed an order at 2 a.m. Not really sure about that. And they began to just move people back. They met very little resistance. We didn't see much force. It looked like the discharge of a rubber bullet when they were very first there by 12th Avenue Arts, and then affected an arrest. It looked like some pepper spray was used. But to be honest, the Seattle Police Department basically reclaimed the precinct in less than 30 minutes and at 5 feet at a time with the bicycle officers out in front.
So they've been moved out of the top zone now. Are you hearing that they plan to stay here for now?
I think that it's very early morning. I think that the choppers that are still here, a lot of them are disoriented out here. But the ones that are here are saying that they plan to hold the line. And I mean, the irony of this very well might be is another barricade, but this time manned by the Seattle Police Department.
All right, thank you so much for talking with us this morning. We know that you have to get back to your life, so we really appreciate it out here, so thank you very much. All right, the situation continues to evolve out here. Protesters have been moved out of the top zone here. Once we have any more on what's going on here, of course, we will bring you the very latest right here on King 5 News. For now, I'm live here in Seattle, Kiara L. Fallen, King 5 News.
It's been a hectic 30 days out here. I think it's the 32nd, 33rd consecutive day of coverage of the Seattle protest. For people that might have just jumped in, man, this was a swift operation by the Seattle Police Department. There was a lot of speculation as to the level of resistance that the Seattle Police Department might face. And to be honest with you, the Seattle Police Department faced very little resistance as they made their way up Pine Street from the west, and as they came down 12th from the north, they met very little resistance as they came through here. And as we've seen for years here in Seattle, the bicycle officers out in front. There was also the SWAT truck was here, and also the unit that has these special weapons, which we did not see discharged today, as far as the tear gas, or the tear gas launcher. I think that's what it's called. Is the actual item right there. The tear gas launcher. So let's see what's going on over here.
Offer you jobs to protect your families, to just simply abandon this uniform, because it is still Seattle against SPD. The uniform is a lie. The uniform is abuse. Your authority figures are abuse. They stop you from talking with them.
So we have no word from the Seattle Police Department at this time as to their intentions here for Pike Street. If this is going to be a protest demarcation line here, or if they're going to further push people out, possibly on the Madison or anything else. It's a very wide perimeter that the Seattle Police Department currently has around the East Precinct. Again, when we look to the east, right there, that's just 1 block from East Madison, where East Madison and Pike intersect. That is East Madison right there. Looking to the south, that's East Madison Street. And then, of course, when we look to the west towards downtown Seattle, that's Broadway right there. And so it's a very wide perimeter that the Seattle Police Department has. And also, although we're right here on Pine, and this is the street, or we're right here on Pike or on 12th, and this is the actual street that the East Precinct is on, we'll find that if we look down there 1 block to the west to 11th, what we'll find is that the police also have a manned perimeter down there as well. And yeah, I mean, less than 30 minutes over here. In less than 30 minutes, the Seattle Police Department came through, and like I said, they met very minimal resistance as they basically retook their precinct. You know, this precinct has been a point of contention now, you know, ever since the police abandoned the precinct, which is a whole other discussion in itself. We were actually there that day when the Seattle Police Department did abandon the precinct, and we were actually right there in front of the precinct, and we saw moving trucks, we saw officers with bags, and we were tweeting out that, hey, the Seattle Police Department's abandoning the precinct. At the same time, the city said that they were reducing a footprint, so people thought that I was on the fake news. And, you know, of course, a few hours later, everybody else caught up and they saw that the precinct had been abandoned. And so now, you know, the Seattle Police Department has effectively reclaimed their precinct here. We did see some people being detained. They could possibly be under arrest. It was a few people, I would think, for like failure to disperse or something like that. The Seattle Police Department that we saw did not meet very much resistance at all. A lot of it was people, you know, because their method is basically every 5 feet. We've seen that time and time again by the bicycle officers here, especially during the protest. So, I mean, they took back the precinct up here literally 5 feet at a time, sometimes 10 feet. The last stretch, though, they pushed it all the way here to Pike. Once they reached the perimeter of their building, there's another building here that's actually basically attached to it. They pushed everybody else out here to Pike Street. So some big questions are, these are porous borders. You know, I don't see the police stopping foot traffic. And I mean, they definitely are stopping car traffic, but I don't see them stopping foot traffic. What very well could mean is that in the coming hours here, as people start to wake up and do things like that, you might get a crowd that's actually out here. And like I said, the irony of it is right here on Capitol Hill, we just keep going from border to border to border, or from barricade to barricade to barricade. And we'll see how this is resolved here today or in the coming days. But for sure, SPD is in full control up here of their precinct area.
Water.
Oh yeah, man, you need it. You 100%. Wow. Like I said, we heard a lot of chatter throughout the night. It's a lot of people. We heard a lot of chatter, and then, like I said, on the police scanner at about 4:30, 4:45 this morning, what we heard was it was police talking to traffic, and they said that everyone on the convoy should stay in a straight line. And at 4:30 in the morning, man, I mean, you know, what other convoy is out in Seattle? And that was kind of the final confirmation for us. And we came, as soon as we came outside, is what we saw. That's exactly what we saw. So what was the police there? So there it is. So that's Converge 1 up there, the drone. So we'll be able to show you guys some drone footage here later on today. Maybe on the morning show, we'll have some drone footage.
Yeah, no, they were out here for the March last night.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
So, a lot of questions to be answered. You know, I mean, some of the things we talked about is Capitol Hill's problem going to become South Lake Union's problem, as things have continuously heated up down there at the West Precinct? Is the city of Seattle exchanging one issue for another issue? You know, I think that the root core of a lot of reasons why, maybe not necessarily these choppers who are here right now, but a lot of the protests that have gone on in Seattle is a lot of deep-seated fundamental issues here in the city. And, you know, today what we see is the Seattle Police Department basically coming back into a precinct that they abandoned. We were literally there, you know, as they take this precinct back here today.
Sorry, but what time
What? Man, I don't know. I tweeted it out what time when they showed though. No, it's all good. It sounds like we're gonna have time, so we'll use our time.
The problem is that they all got the body cams on. The body cams only have a limited amount of time on them.
Well,
once those go off, because they don't have any replenishments back in back in the Chaz.
Yeah, what we'll see, what's getting ready to happen here is these guys are gonna get tapped out, and they're gonna have another crew. So what we saw here before is that they're out here for maybe an hour at the most, and these bicycle officers are actually going to be replaced by another set of officers. Now, what they do with their body camera or recharge or stuff like that, I have no idea. But what we saw in the Western Barricade was literally a replenishment continuously of officers here on the front line, and at that time the National Guard was here as well. So I would really expect here pretty soon, especially if the bicycles are going to be used as a barricade here today, if they don't want to put a physical structure, maybe because of optics or whatever else, if the bicycles are going to be used as a physical barricade today, you're going to see a continuous movement here of officers coming in and out. It says 41 minutes. They secured it 41 minutes ago, and let's see here. I reported that they secured it 40 minutes ago. Let me see here.
40 minutes ago. Okay.
Well, no, that's when we reported that they secured it. My screen is tripping. Okay.
You guys open up the freeway while my kids are out there protesting. 4 or 5 times now.
42 minutes ago.
That's when it was. So the first tweet was 1 hour ago, where so one hour ago, at the northern barricade on Pine. And so that's when they were given the order to disperse, which probably it's not exact, but Twitter's saying I put that tweet up about an hour ago. And which looking back at it now means that their actual operation, once they started moving to reclaim this precinct, didn't even last 30 minutes. It wasn't even 30 minutes. The officers were able to come through here and basically push people out of the chop. What we don't know, can you tell him? Yeah, can you tell him? Hey, Jake. Jake.
I know you guys don't want to represent even white supremacy. I know you
guys. Jake. Anybody got any eyes on Cal Anderson?
No eyes on Cal Anderson right now.
Oh, this is great. I hear you. Thank you. So our very sophisticated communication. Where's Eric at? Eric's over at Cal Anderson. He can't leave, huh?
No.
Well, that means he can go up to the roof.
They're already up there.
Then that's what those are eyes on Cal Anderson then, huh?
Oh, that was you that said that. You guys talking a long time from each other. I didn't know it was.
I told you this was going to happen tonight, and why you guys had that long night is up to you. I told you this was going to happen.
This is your
Why, of all the nights we've been here, why you guys all went to the bar last night? I told you this was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? No, 100%. It was too much chatter.
Also, they took down the barricade.
Yeah, no, it was way too much chatter. And, you know, I mean, we just kind of had a feeling this was coming. This was... We got police, we got a Sprinter van coming up here now. So another chapter here in this protest season here in Seattle, and we have a lot of you know, now it's just new situation, new parameters here. You know, are the protesters calling it a day? You know what I'm saying? Are they done with their protests, or they've been pushed out over here? We want Eric. Let me talk to Eric. See what's going on over at Cal Anderson. Okay, as usual, my guy Money Matt. Here it is. So let me read this out to everybody. And apparently this came out this morning at 4:58 a.m. on the Seattle website. So actually, the police were on the scene before the mayor issued an emergency order. According to the police, the order was actually issued at 2 a.m. We see it posted here on the City of Seattle website at 4:58 a.m. And what we're finding here is the mayor issued a proclamation of civil emergency regarding the East Precinct and Cal Anderson Park earlier today. The order declared the gathering in the area as an unlawful assembly, requiring immediate action from city agencies, including the Seattle Police Department. Let's see if I can zoom in on this proclamation. Give me 1 second.
They just shot at us, though. They're shooting at us. What changed to make it unlawful? That's what I want to know.
All right. It says here, Office of the Mayor, Executive Order 2020-08 to provide City Department direction on a coordinated city response with respect to observed and reported life safety, public health, and property issues, and in around the East Precinct and Cal Anderson Park. Hold on 1 second, guys. I need to make this bigger on my screen. All right, and this is the mayor speaking right here. Whereas, well, this is not the mayor speaking, this is me speaking. These are the mayor's words. Whereas the killing of George Floyd by a police officer in Minneapolis on May 25th, 2020 has generated anger and outrage across the United States, resulting in mass demonstrations. Whereas the city, meaning city of Seattle, the city supports the people's rights to lawful assembly guaranteed under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Washington. Due to the current state of emergency and the governor's stay-at-home order, the city was unable to issue a parade or demonstration permits to groups who wish to lawfully assemble to voice their opinions and plans to escort parades and otherwise assist in safe and lawful right of speech and assembly. Whereas the city recognizes that the parade and demonstrations which will travel upon public streets and sidewalks will disrupt and impair pedestrians, motorists, and transit, and the city recognizes that some disruption is part of the rights of free speech and lawful assembly, which the city will safeguard. And whereas much of the expression has been peaceful and created community solidarity for Black Lives Matter, including features such as community garden, public art, and conversation corner. And whereas to date, city departments have more than reasonably accommodated protesters by offering services and shelter, the city has spent weeks on voluntary efforts to urge people to leave the Cal Anderson Park and giving emerging circumstances and recent shootings. Oh man, this proclamation is really long. But basically, oh man, this is too long.
It's fire shit.
Hey man, these guys keep taking my. Hey, you know you guys can't really speak up. I guess they can. They be jacking my streams, man. SPD is quick to, man. What is this? Oh man, rape, robbery, assault. Oh yeah, hold that, Bobby. Let's see what the mayor is actually saying here. Okay, this might be the last page. This proclamation by the mayor is actually really long. I'll hold this again.
Cop that's wearing a yellow handkerchief is yellow.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat it?
I know, that's what I'm talking about.
So it says here, the rest of the mayor's proclamation, she's talking about what the city did, yada, 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 yada. Incidents of violence, shootings, and it says, whereas after significant national attention, many protesters have left.
That's exactly what we're seeing. No, come on, you guys all have seen the show, and you said, oh, it'd be cool if we
basically,
all wore bananas. You know exactly what you're doing.
Oh, here we go. Here's the last page.
Then you need to go watch the show and stop wearing it, because what it shows is you're a racist right now.
Actually wear the yellow bike squad. It's to identify.
Then you need to watch the show right now where cops wear the yellow bandana during the Tulsa race riots because it makes you look like a racist.
All right. Whereas while thousands of peaceful people traveled into the area, now therefore. So in these proclamations, that's what you always got to look for, by the way. Whereas. Then you gotta hold it straight now. Now therefore, this is the words of our mayor. Now therefore, I, Jenny A. Durkin, Mayor of Seattle, hereby directs all city departments to work in coordination to respond to the observed and reported exigent life, safety, public health, and property issues in and around Cal Anderson Park, which is defined by the areas bound by Broadway to the west, 13th to the east, Denny to the north, and Pike to the south. Effective 12 p.m. noon yesterday, they closed the park. At 2 a.m. on July 1st, 2020, the entirety of the Cal Anderson Park area shall be closed to the public to restore public safety, open roadways, remove obstructions to roadways and public rights of way, and to accomplish full disclosure and restoration cleaning of Cal Anderson Park. All departments shall coordinate as follows to accomplish this work. All persons who are unlawfully occupying Cal Anderson Park area who are in the public rights of way or the park shall be directed to leave the closed area immediately. The Seattle Police Department shall enforce this closure and provide dispersal orders for anyone refusing to vacate the area immediately. Persons who refuse to intentionally fail to obey this closure order to move and disperse from the area are subject to arrest. Any use of force shall be consistent with SPD policy and the terms of preliminary injunction issued in Black Lives Matter versus City of Seattle, and they have a case number. In coordination with Seattle Parks and Recreation and Human Services Department, as necessary, SPD officers shall, in their discretion, remove or arrest individuals who are trespassing in the Cal Anderson Park area in violation of the park's closure and who refuse to leave, including exigent arrest of individuals who may be occupying a tent or obstruction or created structure in a public right-of-way in the Cal Anderson Park area. All reasonable efforts will be made by city departments to assist individuals in accessing necessary shelter. So, Mayor Durkin, I would say this. I've been reading this, so I'll stop right here. Your people who might be providing necessary shelter might want to come out here to 12th and Pike. Right now, I see the police are on the scene. It looks like situation's under control. So if you guys are doing human services per point 6 here, all reasonable efforts will be made by city departments to assist individuals in accessing necessary services, shelter, or transportation, and in packing and storing any personal property, including tents. I don't know how many tents are left. The city shall take reasonable steps to separate personal property from material that is not personal property, provided the segregation does not pose danger to the individual segregating the personal property from materials. Due to safety risks and ongoing threats to the city buildings, SPD is authorized to maintain a reasonable security buffer around the East Precinct and control entry into those in order to limit obstructions to access. Remember, that's what we told you. It's like, how long now is one barricade now? Is there now? There's another barricade. SDOT can remove obstructions. Seattle Parks can clean the park. Utilities can inspect. City Light for repairs. Human Services to help humans, basically. This order shall be limited to 10 days or until further notice, whichever comes first. Inquiries regarding this executive order should be directed to Senior Deputy Mayor Mike Fong, Office of the Mayor. This was signed by Jenny A. Durkin, Mayor of Seattle. The actual order went out at 2 o'clock this morning. It was posted on the City of Seattle website at 5 a.m. So that's the information there. You can find the mayor's emergency order on her website, and it says Mayor issued a proclamation of civil emergency regarding the East Precinct and Cal Anderson Park today. So you can find that on the City of Seattle website. And man, I'm gonna tell you, like last night. We just knew. We had a lot of information that was just, the phones were going nuts saying that this very well might be happening. And then what we heard this morning on the police scanner at about 4:30 this morning, there was a call across the scanner for all vehicles to follow traffic convoy. And at 4:30 in the morning, a police convoy could only be going one place. And that was up here to the CHOP. As soon as we got outside over there, we saw that the police had assembled on 12th, right in front of 12th Avenue Arts and the liquor store. That was their original rally point. And then they had another rally point, which was on 11th. The police basically read part of this emergency. And right after that, they gave an order. They declared it an illegal assembly. And after that, they gave an order for people to leave the area. The police basically took back this area here. And looking back now at the time, and it was less than 30 minutes. I'd say maybe in 20 minutes or less. They met very little resistance. There were some people who I wouldn't necessarily say were resisting, but were not necessarily moving along either. But they didn't meet resistance that a lot of people thought might be out here. We don't have any reports yet from the Seattle Police Department of any injuries sustained on their end. We saw what appeared to be a discharge from a rubber bullet. We saw a pepper spray, but beyond that, we didn't see a lot of force that was actually used. I mean, these guys, we see them here in Seattle in covering these protests, how they move with these bikes, and they've been very effective in using the bikes here to create a barrier and then when they say move, they're move back. And so we've come accustomed to that, and that's a lot of what they did this morning was using that move back technique.
Hey, I'm a Muslim.
A lot of the protesters that were, hey, what's going on over at the park?
Yeah, they're about to hold fast, too. Moving on!
But you, the one at the front desk, you look like me too. Come on. I want to run. Everybody's in this game.
Give me my eyes. So get them. Give me my eyes. I can't.